Today I'm going to talk to you about how to make him make the first move. Hi, I'm Jaki and I'm a heart-centered love and dating coach and the CEO of Engaged at Any Age, a company that helps women learn to deliberately date and consciously create the man of their dreams. I married my own soulmate match husband, Michael, after being single for 8 years, and I'm still on the honeymoon and passionate about helping you get engaged at any age. So I want to give you 6 tips on how to make him make the first move, because I want you to signify interest in someone. And I know that takes guts, but there's so much reward to be had in it if you can do it. Beyond the obvious is getting into a potential relationship. You can walk away having learned something about yourself. So when you take more risk in life, the bigger the risk, the bigger the gain, and you really don't have anything to lose. And believe me, ladies, men are up for this. A recent study showed that 92% of men want women to signal them or approach them and let them know that they're interested in them. 92%. So I want you to take note of these 6 tips that are going to help you to make him make the first move. All right, so the first tip is be confident and use that 5-second smile. And I know this is really hard for a lot of you ladies, but it really, really works. So I want you to just know that it's not desperate. It's only desperate if you feel desperate, right? So focus on the part of you that is confident, knowing that what you want is what you're going to get, okay? So you have to go after what you want. So that 5-second smile really gives him an opportunity to kind of like recognize and realize that you're interested in being approached by him. And I'm telling you, I know it's really challenging, but you just have to sit there and notice a man that you're interested in. And when you see him, you just give him that smile. And you just sit there and do that. I know it's really uncomfortable while you're doing it, but you just hold that smile, and he will either do several things, one of several things. He will either approach you because you give him the signal, letting him know that you're approachable with that beautiful smile. It's very confident and lets him know you're interested in him. Or he won't approach you, which means maybe he's in a relationship, he's occupied, he's not interested. It doesn't matter. You've just got a lot of information in that 5 seconds, and that's what you need to stop wasting your precious time. And that's why this is such a valuable tool. So be confident and give that 5-second smile and practice it in the mirror. Practice, practice, practice. Practice actually is the key to creation. It's a key to getting anything you want, and it's a key to getting out of your comfort zone. So make sure you use that. Tip number 1 is being confident and smile, ladies. Okay, tip number 2, I want you to be just slightly touchy-feely. And what I mean by this is whether you're trying to get his phone number at the bar or he's getting yours, you can give him a really strong signal and get him to ask you out by touching him. So what I suggest is touching his forearm, putting your hand on his hand or his forearm or on his shoulder. You're just reaching over and you're just saying, wow, it's so nice to meet you. Just making that physical contact is really, really a very subtle form of letting him know that you're interested in him asking you out. So you want to give him these obvious signs to help him to ask you out, because basically men are just as nervous as you are. And as long as you hold back, they're feeling like you're not interested. So sometimes you need to get out of your comfort zone and take these tips and start to apply them right away so that you can cut down on the time that you're single, because that's the whole the reason why you're watching this to begin with, right? You're tired of being single. I want you to share, and comment on my videos if you're finding value in them so that other people can find me, because I know I'm helping a lot of women and I want to help everybody get engaged at any age. So subscribe to my channel, and then I'm going to go on to tip number 3. Okay, now I'm going to share with you tip number 3. Ask for what you want. So I know that it's hard to ask for what you want, and it sounds easier said than done, right? But here's the thing. You can simply ask for what you want, and you won't believe how well this goes over. So it can sound something like this. Maybe you're out with your friends and you all decided to move on to a new location. All you have to do is say, hey, we're going over to the Hard Rock. Why don't you join us? Or, hey, we're going over to the Hard Rock. Why don't you come? Or, hey, we're going over to the Hard Rock. You should join us. You should come. You're just like, it's really casual. And you're using that facial expression that I just used. You should join us. It's going to be really great. We'll see you there. We're heading over there now. And then you delete. And then if he shows up, he's interested. If he doesn't, no big deal. It's just like you're reaching out as a friend and checking in to see if he's interested or not, right? And it sends the right message, and that's the important thing. You want to send these signals, these messages, using these tips so that he gets the signal to ask you out, so that you don't have to be that one that's pursuing. And so basically when you do this, you're going to expect him to run with the ball and set up the date. So you're not going to set the date up. So say, for example, and I just want to make sure that this is clear, if he does come over, he comes, you say, hey, we're heading over to the Hard Rock, you should come, and he comes over there, it's going to be up to him to ask you out and to pursue it. Or maybe you're listening to music someplace and there's a party or something, and he's like, oh, I really love this band. It's just such one of my favorite bands. And if you heard that they were coming to San Diego, you can say, wow, they're coming to San Diego, we should go sometime. Just like that, just like casual, like it fell out of your mouth. So you're not pursuing him, you're just excited, you're following something that he's passionate about, and you're just making a suggestion. You're not really hitting on him or asking him out. You're just saying we should go. It's just kind of like figure of speech. And then he, at that point, needs to take the hint, pick up the hanky, and ask you out. And if he doesn't, that's okay. You took a risk and you've got information from it. And that's why it's so important to take these risks. So don't be afraid to feel like you're getting rejected. It's just a redirection, ladies, and you have to put yourself out there. And remember what I said in the beginning of the video. 92% of men want to be approached by women, are okay with being approached by women, and encourage it because they're nervous too. And they want a clear signal from you that it's safe to approach you and it's safe to ask you out. And you're going to say yes. So this is really setting it up to help them ask you out. So you really are helping them by following these tips. And remember what I said again, make sure you share this with your friends so that they can get in on all these great tips as well. And stay for the end because I'm going to share a freebie with you and I don't want you to miss out on that. All right, tip number 4. This one really works and I love this one. Let him help you with something. And so this could be something like if you're at a bar and he offers to pull out your chair, say thank you. Don't say no, I got it, because that's a very automatic response for a lot of women. They're like, no, I got this, but you're like, you don't got it. You want him to get it. So you're like, thank you so much. Or maybe you're coming up to the bar, and not everything's in a bar. It could be at Starbucks or anything, and you're standing in line and your hands are full. You could turn to the guy next to you and say, would you mind holding this for me for a minute? He's going to hold it. Give him your briefcase. Ask him to hold it. Ask him to hold a shopping bag. Ask him, excuse me, can you hand me that, please? I can't reach that. Or, would you do this for me? Or would you mind getting the bartender's attention? Ask for help. Men respond so well to this because they do. They want to help you, and you're giving him an opportunity to do so. And that means that he's already setting up to be in that position of being there for you. You're kind of teeing that up. And you could also do something like asking him to look up something on your phone. Maybe you guys are talking and all of a sudden maybe you're going to leave to the next place. Maybe you're there with your friends or wherever you are. It could be a party, it could be a friend's, it could be a Starbucks. Maybe he has his phone, you don't have yours. You could say, excuse me, would you mind looking something up for me? I'm getting ready to head down to this restaurant, Catania, and I have never been there. Do you know where it is? Or could you give me directions or look at those up on your phone for me? And then smile. And guess what? He's going to look it up on his phone for you, and he's going to talk to you, and you're going to strike up a conversation. And that's a segue into him possibly asking you out, but you're teeing it up. You're letting him know you're interested. You're open, and that's a big thing. Okay, so tip number 5, and this one's really fun. Linger. Linger around. Hang out. Okay, I did this myself. I'm going to share you a story that I use the linger tip, and it really works. And so use your time wisely, especially if you see someone that you're interested in. And so you want to be very subtle about it, but believe me, he will notice that you're lingering, and he will take that as a signal if he's interested in you. And so the best approach to that is your proximity to him. You want to make sure you're standing near him. Or if there's a group of people, you at least are positioning yourself so that you're closer to him. than the other people there, so that he gets the sense, the vibe, the feeling that you're interested in him. That's the point of it. So you linger near him. Now, I'll tell you my stories. I went to a coffee shop. I rode there on my bike, parked my bike, and I was lingering outside of right there at the entrance of the coffee shop. It was outdoor seating, and I had gone in, I'd got a cup of coffee and came back, and I was lingering, because there was no place to sit. So I was just kind of hanging out. I had my coffee. I was not on my phone. I was just drinking my coffee, just listening to the conversation, looking around, smiling to myself, acting happy. Okay, so, sometimes you have to fake it till you make it. Now, I was happy, but it was definitely awkward, and I was nervous, so I was playing the role of being happy in that moment. In other words, I was projecting happiness outwards. And so I was just kind of smiling and admiring the birds, and there were birds in the tree, and I was listening to that, and I was just appreciating life and putting the vibe out there that I was approachable. So there was a guy sitting at a table, and he called over to me and said, "Excuse me, would you like to join me?" Ta-da! And I'm like, that would be great. And of course, I sat down. We ended up having a conversation, which led to a date. He asked me out, but I did linger. And so the lingering helps. So if you're in a club, you're in a bar, you're in a restaurant, you're in the lobby, someplace, linger in an elevator, stand outside of the elevator and linger with him. Talk to him for a moment. Give him an opportunity to put it together that you're interested in him. That's why you need to linger. Okay, ladies, I'm going to give you a final tip. So now, here's the way that you can get him alone. Getting him alone is really going to send the signal to him that you're interested in him and have him ask you out. And so maybe you are in a room together with a bunch of people. And first of all, what you can do is you can ask him to you can draw him away to the side, and you can just, say, "Excuse me, can I ask you a question?" And then he'll kind of step aside or away from the group while you engage him in something. You could just ask him something about, the area. You can ask him something that's relevant to the conversation, or you can ask him something about, a friend. I know the friend's birthday's coming up, and I surprise him. Do you have any ideas about a gift? So make sure you kind of have an idea of what you're going to ask him when you draw him away. And so you could just simply say, "Excuse me, can I talk to you for a minute?" And then he turns away from the group. And at that point, you're making a more intimate connection with him. You're kind of creating a little bond, which is a really great place to go. From that point, he is now in a position to definitely ask you out because you made this little connection. It's like you're now on this friendship level, which could easily dovetail into a relationship. And in closing, before I tell you what my freebie is, I just want you to say a lot of these tips really will help you materialize an opportunity to go on a date. You have to put yourself out there. You have to learn these tips because they really will help when you're out in real life. And that's where, it's all happening. You're out there. You're not all online dating, right? You're out in real life. And when you get out there, you clam up and you freeze up, or you run away and you don't know what to do. So I know that these tips will help you if you follow them and practice them. And I also want you to notice to stop buying into society's restrictions about who should ask who out. I know that I talk a lot about masculine and feminine energy, but really, when we look at where we are today in our society and what the studies are showing is that men are completely okay with being approached. My husband included. I talked to him about it. Before we got married, he was approached by women. He said he was relieved because it let him know at least they were interested in if he approached them, he wasn't going to get shut down. And so these 6 tips are a more subtle form of tips. So you're not outright asking them out, but you're giving them strong, clear signals that you're interested in continuing a deeper discussion or a date or something that might lead to a relationship. And that's why it's so exciting. Okay, I want to tell you about my freebie. I want you to go to soulmateiq.com and download my free quick assessment. It's my soulmate assessment. And it's going to tell you what frequency you're vibrating at right now and help you get quicker into alignment. I'm going to send you a feminine exercise along with your assessment. And this assessment's really going to give you some insights into if you're coming off too needy, if you're coming off in your masculine energy, if you're controlling. So it's just a quick quiz, going to take you a few seconds. You're going to get that delivered directly into your inbox. So take advantage of that, soulmateiq.com. And the last thing I want to wrap up with is I'm really excited to share with you that I've opened the doors to my annual program, Engaged at Any Age. It's a program where I teach women how to deliberately date and consciously create the man of their dreams in a very intimate, private setting. And it's only available once a year, and the enrollment is open now for a very limited time for a very select few women that are truly ready to do what it takes to call in their soulmate this year and be engaged in a committed relationship by the end of the year. And so I'm going to drop the link to how to access that information in the comment box, and make sure you check that out. And I just want to thank you so much for being here and joining me for this episode. And I'm just sending you lots and lots of love. Bye-bye.